you figure it out as you go along. It's not, I didn't plan on being in this place at this time, but everything, all the obstacles that I've been through in my life have really helped me become who I am, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I like being able to, travel and be adventurous and have that in my life. And 4 months after we got married, we were in Africa for a month. So we were able to just experience all of that. And
4 months later, you were in Africa married?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, 4 months after we got married,
I thought it was we started dating right away, and no, we were married, we were in Africa, we popping out, okay.
Yeah, but I guess that's how I'm a type A personality too. I'm always doing something. I work from home. I write books.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're writing a book right now.
Yeah, I'm producing a documentary. I'm doing so many things, and I like it that way. I don't know what else I would do, but I do love helping people.
Welcome to Parenting Teens Today with Jesse LeBeau.
I know we have a history have known each other for a while, and I lived with your son Rocco, and this is like so great and fun to catch up, to finally get out here and see the place and look out and see the deer running around. It's so cool. And I know a lot of the stuff that has been going on in your life more recently, but I don't know like the Shemane Genesis story. So can we go back to like how this all started and to go on that journey?
How far do you want to go back?
I want to go back to like childhood.
How much time do you have?
We're only 5 minutes now.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, it's long overdue.
Yeah. So we've
Is he making a mess back there?
Yeah, he's making a mess. You're in our shot.
Well, I thought like a holy thing.
I don't know. Yeah, like where did you grow up in? Well, who are you? I don't even know you.
I grew up in Michigan.
Okay, so you did.
I wasn't a rock and roll chick. Didn't know anything about rock and roll. I was a traffic reporter at a rock and roll radio station in Detroit. And Ted
doing the traffic reports.
Doing the traffic. That's it. That was my job. I knew nothing about rock and roll.
Okay.
Or hunting.
Okay.
Or guns or any of that. And Ted came in and filled in for the morning crew for an entire week. So in radio, your job is to talk to somebody and have a communication. And here I met this guy who's a rock and roller. I mean, I knew he was somebody.
In his career, he was already, people knew who he was established.
This was in the late 80s. I didn't know anything about, like, if my life depended on it, I couldn't have told you one song that he did.
Yeah.
But when you're in radio, your job is to talk with people and to get to know them. And it was amazing to me that he didn't drink and smoke. And he was a family man, and he was very witty and charismatic, and
always had it, the it factor.
Yes, made me laugh, and so that's how it all started.
And before that, what were you doing? Before your career and all this stuff, childhood, you were running around. Were you into sports? Because you're sporty. What were you playing? Were you working out?
I was a tomboy.
Okay.
I used to race motocross.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's like extreme. That's like dangerous.
Yeah, I used to race motocross. I was a state champion swimmer twice. I did cheerleading, gymnastics, cheerleader in college, everything.
Jeez.
I pretty much played basketball, volleyball, track, everything. I loved being in the outdoors. So that part of my life really meshed with Ted's, because outdoors, living off the land, but I didn't know about hunting and the survival instinct, but I loved getting dirty. I love this dichotomy, this lifestyle that we live in. Like, I can kind of dress up and wear fancy earrings.
Yeah.
But cowboy
Put
boots
on the nice
too.
boots, yeah.
Cowboy
But the
boots
stylish,
too.
a little style.
It's really, and with the pandemic, we were talking earlier, our lives haven't changed at all.
And that's amazing.
We live off the land, and now I grow my own vegetables, and I really appreciate that. And I feel like there's a lot more people who are getting back to their roots doing that too.
Yeah, it's such the pandemic has been an interesting dynamic between relationships. You see a lot of people like you guys that are hunkering down and stronger and like, oh yeah, we enjoy each other. This is why we're together. And there's other people that are like, I can't stand you. And like, I know a lot of people that have split, and it's definitely an interesting, like, it's just crazy to see how it all works out. But I'm glad you guys are doing okay here and living off the land. So when you met, did it move pretty fast that your guys' relationship, like, we know we like each other?
Super fast.
Yeah.
We met October 3rd, 1988. Our
Okay.
first date was a month later.
Okay.
Ted asked me out, and I said no because I was engaged to be married a few months before I met him. So I was like, no, no, no. I don't want to be a notch on the rock and roll totem pole.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that was, the hunter instinct in him. Nobody turned him down ever.
Yeah. You want what you can't have.
Right.
Yeah.
So
story of my life.
We got engaged a month after that, and got married a month after that.
Wow. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here I am.
How about that other guy? How about that other guy? His story. He's like, I was engaged. Like, he has to go on every date. He's probably married and happy and wonderful family. That's what I'm gonna assume. But like, he had to go on a date and be like, so have you ever, dated? People are like, well, I was engaged. Really, what happened? Well, she married Ted Nugent. Like, right? Like, that's his life.
He did come crawling back.
He did.
Yes, he did. But it's okay.
Hey, sometimes life's all about choices, and you got to make decisions.
That's right.
So it's interesting too, because a lot of people would be attracted to like this rock and roll lifestyle, but like you said, for anything, you turned it down, probably because you were engaged. Obviously a big part, but also I feel like knowing you how I do, like that was like, I don't want to be a part of this, because you have all these assumptions about what his life was. Right. When you're like, oh no, actually he's a family guy. No, he loves to be outdoors and be away from everyone.
He doesn't drink and smoke.
And smoke. So you're like, this is not maybe the traditional, what we think of as like a rock star.
Right. Right. He's not.
Yeah.
He isn't.
Yeah. So then you guys get together. Rocco pops out. You have.
It's a lot more difficult than that.
Okay. I don't know how these work. My parents never had to talk with me. Yeah. Kid popped out, a bird and a bee or something. I don't know. And you guys have this, like, basically, I feel like you guys had a lot of adventures. Like, a lot of time you're on the road. Wasn't Rocco a part of that, and going on the buses and going to different cities and seeing, him on stage, and you're trying to, like, how does that even work? Like, having him be in school, or you having to teach him?
You figure it out as you go along. It's not, I didn't plan on being in this place at this time, but everything, all the obstacles that I've been through in my life have really helped me become who I am, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. I like being able to, travel and be adventurous and have that in my life. And 4 months after we got married, we were in Africa for a month. So we were able to just experience all of that. And
4 months later, you were in Africa married?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. 4 months after we got married,
I thought it was like, we started dating right away, and no, we were married. We were in Africa. We popping out. Okay.
Yeah. But I guess that's how I'm a type A personality too. I'm always doing something. I work from home. I write books.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're writing a book right now.
Yeah, I'm producing a documentary. I'm doing so many things, and I like it that way. I don't know what else I would do, but I do love helping people. Yeah. So that's my journey, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. No, I love it. So I want to ask you, because you shared with me your trailer for your documentary, which I loved, and I want to go down, and because you're talking about the obstacles that you've dealt with and how it's helped you to want to help other people. But I just thought of something, and I kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on it. Being in the public eye, you guys have this show on the Outdoor Channel. Yep. What's the name of the show?
Ted Nugent, Spirit of the Wild.
Ted Nugent, Spirit of the Wild. Outdoor Channel. It's been on forever. Won awards. Yeah. MTV Cribs, all these things. Yeah. And because your husband is a very polarizing, outspoken person that's going to fight and believes in what he believes, people, for better or worse, say untrue things. I'm sure that you've been on the receiving end of many of these things. How do you deal with that? Because that's a thing, especially with kids today. Yeah. Their identity is caught up in social media. Their identity is caught up in what everyone thinks of, and it seems like it's 10x'd in the last 5-10 years because of the internet. And kids are hurting. Like, they come up to us and they roll up their sleeves and they show us the cut marks from like the weeks and days before. And I just met them an hour before and didn't even really meet them. I just like talked to them to their school or something. So how has that kind of been? I would imagine in the beginning it was probably just completely shocking and outraging, and then you learn, oh, this is just part of living life and standing up for what you believe. Do you have any like kind of experiences or thoughts on dealing with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's a roller coaster ride for sure.
Yeah.
And the problem is, especially with children, if they don't have a voice, that somebody to listen to them, they'll come up to you wherever they can. They'll come up to a caring adult and say, basically, I need help.
Yeah.
Or, you look at some of these horrible things that have happened at school with kids before, and they just want to be heard.
Yeah.
They just want somebody to listen to them. And that's why I do love to help people. But as far as my journey, I didn't always have it figured out.
Yeah.
I'm a slow learner.
Yeah, how could you? You were doing traffic and
Yes.
is it motocross?
Motocross,
Motocross.
yeah.
Did you expect her to say motocross? When I was like, what? Like, who are you?
Oh yeah, who are you? Ted said that to me the other day. He said, because I've learned to voice my opinion. I think that's the number one most important thing that I can lesson that I can share with people, to learn to voice their opinion in a way that's not hurtful to other people.
Yeah, you could disagree and still be friends or still care about people, So I love that. So you're saying finding your voice.
Yes.
Kind of dealing with, in the beginning, is that in the beginning you're quiet more?
Well, as a child, I learned to be seen and not heard. And to not get in trouble. You don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And so if you carry those, there's something called the Enneagram. Have you ever heard of it?
I have a score on there.
What is it?
I literally did it like a month ago because
Okay.
I'm like been trying to figure
remember
out
what you are?
relationships. I thought that I was an achiever.
Okay.
But I'm actually, and you might be able to relate to this, I'm actually a perfectionist.
Oh.
So I thought I'm a cheat, but I'm just trying to be perfect all the time, which is horrible. Like it's exhausting because you can't do
I know,
it.
right?
Yeah. What is yours?
I'm a 2. I'm a helper.
Okay, yes,
So you're
yes,
probably
yes.
a 1, I think, a 1 or a 3.
I'll have to look. I
Okay.
think 3. I don't
3.
think it was 1 because I've been like, oh, I'm 1. I'm a winner.
Oh.
But, even though it has nothing to do with it.
That would make sense.
I would remember.
No, but once I realized that there are different personalities to everybody, and it's okay that everybody doesn't like you.
Yeah.
It's okay, and it's not bad if you don't please everybody. The number one most important thing, I believe, is that you learn how to please yourself, and you learn boundaries.
I'm in.
You learn
Yeah.
boundaries. You have to have boundaries in life. You have to say, even children, at some age, to learn what is right and what is wrong, to learn what is safe boundaries, and to not, there's a happy medium. We grew, when Rocco was a child, there was a story you have to ask him about. When he was on the swim team, I helped him. I was a state champion swimmer twice, so of course, I'm gonna give him tips, right?
Did you mention that earlier when I
did.
said, okay, I was like,
Yeah.
you said, I'm like, I don't remember swimming. Okay.
Yeah, I was a state champion swimmer, so I'm going to give my son some tips.
Okay.
But when he was 7 years old, he entered a novice swim meet, and the whole point about being in that swim meet is that you couldn't have competed before. So that they spend more time with children to learn how to use the block and the starter gun and what happens. They take their time.
So they learn it correctly the first time.
Yes,
Okay.
but they take their time there. So Rocco enters the novice swim meet and he won.
Yeah.
He won so much that it was like
It was like
was
they've been
blatant,
training
like-
him. Yeah, they're cheating or
Yeah.
whatever. Because he's a good athlete.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and I helped. I gave him some tips. And so afterwards, when it was time for him to go pick up his trophy, Rocco Nugent, first place, no trophy. But the second place guy has a trophy. So we went to the authorities and said, well, what's this all about? And they said, well, Rocco swam so fast that it wasn't fair to the other children.
yeah. And this is back then.
Yeah,
That's
this
like
was
today.
back
It's like,
then.
oh yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Right.
you can't be too good.
So long story short, we cannot build and develop those skills where everybody's equal. Everybody gets a trophy or a medal just for
Yeah.
participating. You have to have a little bit of competition, that's good, but you also have to have boundaries like, this is not okay, and this is where I need to voice my opinion in a way that doesn't, upset my parents. You can't be complaining and criticizing, I am not going to eat broccoli.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to listen to parents and
Yeah.
authorities and teachers, but there's got to be a happy medium there as well. So I feel like the number one most important thing is for children to learn how to say what they want and don't want in life.
Yeah.
And it's hard for kids, especially if they're like me, if they're a people pleaser. You know, they want to make their mom happy. If their mom says, their mom or dad or teacher says, you know, do you like to play the drums? Oh yeah, I do. But then they go off and they sulk and they really wanted to play the flute or the guitar.
Yeah.
You have to learn to say, no, I really want to do X, Y, or Z. And that's hard for some kids.
Yeah, especially like you're saying that when you really care about these people that are taking interest in you. And so many people as adults live their life trying to please their parents or trying to please their spouse. And it's like at a certain point you have to do what's the right thing for you to do. You know, and it's so funny when you're saying like, oh, people are, worried about people not liking them. I remember in junior high, I was the nicest, like, just innocent kid ever. And I was so, I was, I guess, popular, but I didn't know it because I just talked to everyone. And if someone didn't like me, and they had no reason not to, I remember just being devastated. Why does this one person that I don't even know or care about, why? And so
okay.
I feel like you're kind of the same way with the people pleasing. It's like you don't want to let people down, and it's hard, and so you are a helper.
I'm a helper.
Makes
but
sense.
You said something that's relevant today. Mm-hmm. You wanted people to like you.
Yeah.
On Facebook, on social media, you want people. It's the same thing, only different. And it took me a long time to answer your question. It took me a long time to realize I'm not out there to get likes on social media.
Yeah.
My goal is to change people's lives.
Yeah.
That's the look I'm going for.
Yeah.
I don't care how many likes I get. And it took me a while to be okay with that. And we, not to get political, but we went to the White House, and this was the turning point for me.
There was pictures, right? I think I saw the pictures.
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
The turning point for me was we went to the White House, and I posted a photo, and I got so much hate mail, even death threats on social media.
Being with our president.
Just being with the president, having a photo, posting on social media, and I thought, I was like you. What's not to like about me? Everybody I like people, I compliment people.
Yeah.
How could people be so hurtful, and not only that, but a death threat that's on file with the FBI.
Yeah.
So then I really took it personally, and I spent hours like deleting all the hate mail that I got. And this is going to surprise you about me. Another thing happened. So that was one of my stepping stones. But the thing that really made sense for me was Kanye West.
Okay, I did not see that coming. Yeah. This is an interesting pass.
Kanye West.
He's a character.
When he came out with his gospel album, I thought, wow, how many haters did he have? How many people told him he couldn't do that? And he did it anyway, and he did it awesome. He did it on his terms. And watching my husband say what's on his mind, and the haters say what they hate, whatever they want to say, it just rolls off his back. It doesn't matter. So all of these things started coming into my life, and I thought, you know what? There's always going to be haters.
Yeah.
And unfortunately now there are bots.
Yeah.
You know about that?
Yeah.
And so, that plays into it too, but I have to limit my social media presence.
Yeah.
I have to shut it down at, 8 or 9 o'clock, whatever it is. I have to go through a routine. I take a bath with lavender and essential oils, and I have a cup of tea.
That's your tree stand.
That's my tree stand.
That's your tree stand.
But everybody's got to find the thing that makes your heart sing, and you'll be happier and healthier. And the world needs that special gift that you have, that only you have.
Yeah.
Because, it's so disheartening for me to see children not be able to shine their light. I mean, in the Bible it talks about, in Matthew 5:15, it talks about, we all have a light within us.
Yeah.
And nobody puts a light on underneath a table or under a basket.
Yeah.
You put a light on a table so that everybody can see, and it illuminates the room. Every child needs to find their light inside them, whatever it is that makes them happy, because that happipiness is going to spread. And I think that's our goal in life, our purpose in life, is to find your gift and then to share it with others.
Yeah. And especially when it's overflowing and helping other people, finding your voice. That's something that I don't hear enough about. And that's really what it is loving yourself, and then not being, like you said, do it in a nice way, but being like, hey, I need time. I need to go and do the bath bomb, or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta fill up your cup.
Yeah.
You know, you got whatever makes you you. You cannot give all the time. And that's another boundary that I had. Like
People take advantage of it, right?
I had to schedule time for myself. Like I have to work out every day.
Yep.
I don't go run 10 miles or anything.
Yeah.
But I have to make time for myself so that I can be healthy. I can fill up my cup, so to speak, and then I can be more helpful to other people.
Yeah. So what are a couple of your non-negotiables? You got the
I got to work out every
in the
day.
morning. Sounds like
I
a bath
write in the
bomb's
morning.
pretty essential
Bath
at some
bombs,
point.
yeah.
I went through a breakup and I did like a bath. I think I might have overdone the bath bomb in there. Listen to the sad music, got the candles lit, and just okay, man.
But doesn't it make you feel good?
Oh, I love it.
So why not do it more often?
I think agreed. More bath bombs, non-negotiables. All
right,
3 bath bombs a day.
Well, okay, now that's pushing it.
Yeah.
No, I find time for myself in the morning. I have my quiet time. I write and I read and I don't do Bible study every day, but I find whenever it feels like I'm feeling overwhelmed, it never fails that I open the Bible and I find an answer. So I want to do more of that. I want to fit more of that in my life, and I want to be able to share that with other people as well. And I do that on social media, and I do online programs, and I write books, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So amazing. I want to hear the story from you, and I'm sure you've shared it a lot, so feel free to do it how you want to do it. But this crazy, like something that doesn't happen to a lot of people, it's such a unique thing of what you went through with the, I don't even want to give it away, but I'll just say with the mold and with your house. And that was the house that was on the MTV Cribs, right?
Yep.
Yes, okay.
That was part of my journey, I think.
Yeah.
Getting sick and almost dying really helped me become the person I am today, and a fighter.
Yeah.
A fighter for my health and for my wellness. And 18 years ago, I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs if my life depended on it. I was once named Detroit's most physical female. There was a competition in a bar.
Okay, it was called
where we were doing aerobics back in the 80s.
There was a bull. Yeah,
no
I think
bull.
I've been to this bar.
No bull.
Okay.
But there were a bunch of aerobics instructors, and the fans or the people in the bar would vote on you, and I got the most votes.
See, this is the stuff in the past that you're hiding that I was trying to dig out. Okay, so
yes,
most physical.
So it was in a bar, but my point is, I was healthy, and then I lost my health, and it took me a long time to regain my health, and I didn't want to take prescription drugs which would just cover the problem.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research on how to cure myself with natural remedies like infrared sauna, vitamin IV, taking supplements, having the right diet, and my goal in life is just to feel better.
Yeah.
So that I have energy and I can do the things I love to do. Like I just posted a video of me doing backflips on a trampoline. I'm 58 and I can still do backflips on a trampoline. I want to be able to still do them when I'm 78.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can, but
I'm
going to really try.
Yeah.
So, whatever it takes for you to get and stay healthy, and to share that health and that essence of life with other people, is an extraordinary gift. And
yeah, it's everything.
I'm not going to say that I lost. I was teaching aerobics and I was a tomboy when I was a kid, and I was energetic and everything. But losing my health, and losing my home, and losing everything, literally from our clothes. We walked away from our house with just the clothes on our backs and got rid of them. And it caused me to think about, do I need to have fancy jewelry and nice boots and things? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to have nothing. Literally, we were living in a fifth wheel on our driveway. in a Holiday Inn. We went back to nothing and the basics, and it really makes you appreciate everything in life. And you know what's most important?
Health.
Your health.
Family.
Your health, your family. Yeah. So
when it's taken away from you, that's when I realized it. Not that I've had anything close to that, but like you just get sick and you can't do stuff. You're just like, or in an injury, you're like, wow. Like if you don't have your health and you can't do stuff, you don't have anything.
Yep.
You can't do anything.
I remember a daunting task for me would be when Rocco was in track. I remember he had a track meet, and of course, I wanted to go to everything that he did.
Yeah.
You know that from when you guys were playing basketball together. And he had a track meet, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I have to actually get in the car and drive 30 miles and park the car and walk up the bleachers, and I don't know if I have enough energy to do that.
Jeez.
I went from riding motocross, being Detroit's most physical female, to being bedridden.
How fast did this happen? Like, was it just
Not
hit you?
fast.
So it was slowly, and then how did you pinpoint that it was mold in the house that was killing you?
Well, we didn't see anything. We never saw anything. I became my own investigative sleuth, and that's what I want to encourage everybody else to be an investigative sleuth for their life. If they don't feel good, if they're getting a cold or sore throat or headaches or things like that, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And to find out what that is. Stress can cause headaches. If you're not happy, that can cause headaches.
Yeah.
So it's getting to the root of the problem. So to answer your question, it took me a long time to figure it out, because back then, 18 years ago, nobody was talking about mold.
Yeah.
They literally thought, like, we didn't see it. It was growing between the walls in our home due to faulty building. So, I had to do a lot of investigative work, and I think all of that leads me to where I am right now, and I feel like God is nudging me to write this book about it and to share what I know with other people, because like you, every single day I get questions about it. How did you find it? What happened? How sick were you? What were your symptoms? And I want to share what I know with other people so that it doesn't happen to them.
Well, what I saw on the trailer was that then all of a sudden, as more and more people started to learn about your story, people were reaching out to you, going through the same thing. So how did that just kind of organically happen, and then you were like helping people get through their situations, or identify that could be something that's contributing to their health situation or their home?
Well, going back to Kanye.
Yeah, oh yeah, it always does. It always goes back to Kanye.
It always goes back to Kanye. Sorry, Sadie. You and Kanye. No, he did something that was not on his, chart that everybody expected him to do.
Yeah.
He started speaking out about God. He started speaking out about his faith and politics, and I thought, wow, what if I started talking about mold? What if I started talking about what happened to me, rather than posting cute photos of me and my dogs? The perfect life.
Yeah.
And the more that I did that, people started reaching out to me. So you never know who's watching you. In fact, I was on the phone this morning, and a woman told me that I'm setting up I'm going to be doing a fitness class with her in Florida, dance fitness class for senior citizens.
Nice, yeah. There's a few of them in Florida.
I'm one now,
In Florida, they got a couple down there, I hear.
And she said, I just wanted to let you know, I watch you on social media. I might not always comment, but thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that just fills my heart up. You can't, what is it? How does that feel to you when somebody compliments you?
Yeah,
In a cost, in a payment? You can't pay that.
Yeah.
You can't buy that feeling,
Yeah, no, it's amazing. We were just doing we raced here 7.5 hours yesterday, because she was closing a escrow, so she's like had to come in late, and we had to come all the way to do a virtual Zoom with kids in Pennsylvania, and it was fun. It was a blast. They were amazing, but kids start writing in the chat box, and like one of there was a girl that wrote in there how she'd been doing gymnastics for 11 years, and then she finally decided she needed to quit because she was dealing with toxicity and mental health issues. And this is a 15, 16-year-old girl who we're talking through the computer, and it's just amazing how sharing your voice, sharing your story, and a lot of times people think you want to see the highlight reel, all the other things. The thing that connects with people is that hardship, that difficult thing, that thing that shows your humanity. And it's been overwhelming on our journey here, just by sharing. I don't have a crazy story at all. I just was an underdog, and I wanted to play basketball, and I'm like this little guy from Alaska, and then getting to do these things, and but it's like then the kids come up and they share their underdog, which a lot of times their story's way crazier than mine. But it's amazing how you can use those things that were the most difficult time of your life, going through this thing where you're dying, and you're practically just, am I boring you?
She just wants attention.
She wants the attention. I love it. But those difficult things are what can really help people, and I think it's just so beautiful how you've been able to take it, and now you're not only have you done that what you've done so far, but now the trailer with the documentary, which is exciting, and then doing the book is a whole other undertaking. You know, that's so much work of time that you have to put in all that. So it's really, really cool to see that.
Well,
you know?
it's I didn't want to be known as
you
the mold lady.
Yeah, that wasn't your thing at
That
all.
wasn't-
We'll talk about, all right, well, I guess this is the path
Yes.
that's happening. You know, there's something cool here.
I think there's a saying, a military saying, improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yeah.
And it's really important for us to you know, every day we're given an opportunity. Every day I wake up and I before I even open my eyes, I say a prayer and thank God for my health.
Yeah.
And thank God for this opportunity that I can touch other people's lives and help inspire and motivate them, especially kids. What you're doing, Jesse, is amazing.
Yeah, we're
It's
having
awesome.
so much fun. Again, I never thought I would be doing any of these things myself. It's I think I had the same dream as Rocco. We wanted to be professional basketball players, right? But just like you pivot, and we call it tweak the dream, and then you end up doing something that's a little different, but maybe there's some element of that thing where you're a coach now, or you know, my situation, I'm still messing around with the basketball, you know, and you find that thing that's like, oh, this is what you said earlier, what lights me up. This is what sets my heart, my soul on fire, and it's all about those relationships that you have along the way. Because being a perfectionist on the Enneagram scale, which we need to look up, might be a 3, you start to be like, oh, it's all about getting here. I won't be happy until I'm here, until I have the perfect family and spouse and relationship and life. But it's like, no, today is the best day, right here, hanging out with you, having this conversation, petting the dogs, listening to them, you know, make the noises. It's like, that is, if you can learn to live in that money spot, it makes all the difference.
One of the trips that we made to Africa, we've been there several times. In fact, Rocco, I don't know if you know this about him, he was named after an Italian doctor in Hoedspruit, South Africa, who owns a 50,000 acre tomato ranch.
Wow,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Dr. Rocco Gioia.
Wow.
So we've been there so many times, and of course have you ever been?
I haven't been. No, I haven't been.
It's, you know, amazing to see the way other people live, and heartbreaking at times too. And I had asked Rocco, our host at the time, you know, do your workers, he's got a lot of workers, and he provides them with little grass huts and, you know, gives them food, and they work on his ranch. And I said, you know, do these workers who come in, and sometimes they're wearing the same clothes, sometimes they have no shoes, day after day after day, week after week, month after month, same thing. And I asked Dr. Rocco Gioia, do they look at us tourists who come in with fancy jewelry and clothes, and are they jealous of us? And he said, no, they feel sorry for you because you need so many things. There's one good thing.
How profound is that?
There's one good thing that's coming out of this pandemic is that, you know, a lot of people are not shopping as much. Maybe they are on Amazon, but I think it's really important to just take a look at what we have. You know, sure, I'm the first person. I like to have nice boots and clothing and things, but I know what it feels like to have nothing.
Yeah.
Literally have no home, have no clothes, and have to start over. And you know what? Any of your people who are watching this, they can do it. They can, wherever they're at, there's somebody who has started with less and made more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. You know, it really goes back to the first thing you said, if you have to love yourself. All these other things are great add-ons, great perks, you know, the material things. But if you really can just learn to be okay with yourself, whether you're in the trailer at the Holiday Inn Express or wherever you are, because that's one thing I've, like, it's so silly, but it's like, oh, wherever I go, there I am. Like, I'm all I got. I'm always going to be there. So if you can't learn to really enjoy your time and find joy in all these things, then what are you doing?
Well, you said something that a lot of people talk about, learn to love yourself.
Yeah.
How do you actually do that?
Yeah.
A lot of people, and we've got negativity in our mind. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have done this. You could do better. You should have worked this out differently. If we whenever you're playing basketball or finding the thing that makes your heart sing, you could probably go for hours without eating or drinking, or you're in that zone.
Yeah.
When you find that thing that lights your soul on fire, that's what you need to be doing. That's how you love yourself more, is giving yourself that gift of doing that more often, because it's lighting up other people around you. Wow, look at this guy. I want to have what he's having.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And so many people, I feel like they're just afraid of failing, but then they're afraid of the judgment from other people. So the more, it's like this common themes that keep coming back around this conversation. It's like the more you can love yourself, you can stick up for your voice, and you can do that thing that is your sweet spot, that you love to do. It's so much more, your life is just going to be so much happier. And it's like Ted was saying earlier, you got here to here. Are you going to live it and do all these things, or are you going to try to make it a beautiful existence and have deep, meaningful relationships and connections with people and live life to the fullest? I'm getting fired up now. Like, we need to go do that thing.
You have to have tools too, especially young people. It's easy to say, especially for somebody like Ted, he's living his best life every single day. Yeah. He does what he wants to do. He has been to the mountaintop. In his world. Yeah. And it's easy for him to say, I don't want to do that, I'm not going to do it. But for children, especially, for them to be able to have enough guts to do those things that make their heart sing, it's going to take action and baby steps. Yeah. So if they have tools like, say for example, somebody said something that hurt their feelings, that's like having a scar on the inside for months or even years. You can think about where you were when somebody said something, how you felt. Yeah. But if you had a tool like just envisioning a stop sign in your mind, because we're talking about the inner spirit, envision a stop sign and switching, stop, become aware of that moment and pivot. Yeah. Pivot to something different and go, I'm not going to allow myself to go there anymore, and I'm going to go, run a mile or play with my dog or do something different. Sometimes it's important to have those tools. Yeah.
As a perfectionist, I have no idea what you're talking about. but isn't that so funny? Like, I went and met with this doctor who he works with a lot of MBA guys, and one of his clients was actually Vince Carter, who's had like the longest, best MBA career. He's still dunking in his 40s. An amazing guy, and he's like, the pain, all this stuff you're doing, structurally you're fine. It's all in your head. Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna give you all these things, and you could do them, and they'll help. But you need to understand pain. You need to understand how it works. And as you kind of figure that out, it will completely change how your relationship with pain is. And he's like, the key is it's in your head. But he goes, I'm hesitant to give this to you, because once I do, what happens if you don't do these 3 exercises on these days? I go, it's going to stress me out, and that's going to cause the pain. And he's like, see, you're starting to get it. Yep. You have to not beat yourself up and be like, and so I have to be, because I'm type A, is like you, where it's like, we got to do these things, we got to be up at this time, who's going to be driving this or that, and it's like, just go with the flow and have more just chill, like, hey, whatever happens is going to happen today, and it's not the end of the world. We'll get there when we get there. You don't need to stress out. You're just making yourself sick in pain for no reason. For people like us, you have to schedule time. Yeah. The bath bomb time. Yeah. Okay. So schedule that time, and especially with young people, get off social media. Create time in your schedule. People have work to do, and they have chores to take care of at home, and there are certain things that we have to do. I wrote a book called 4 Minutes to Happy, and women always, not all women, but most women tend to put the needs of everybody else before themselves. Yeah. We roll out the red carpet and we allow people to take advantage of us, and then one day we wake up and go, what about me? Yeah, where'd my life go? Yeah, how did I get to be 50 or 60 or 70 and I'm overweight and out of shape? Because I've taken care of kids and family, but I haven't taken care of myself. Yeah. So one of the things that I write about in 4 Minutes to Happy is a lot of people don't think they have time, me time. Yeah. Okay? But let's say you're just, some people might want to lose weight, but they don't have time to work out. Yeah.
Do you have 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody
Yeah,
has
I think
4
we could
minutes a
find
day.
4 minutes.
So the dirty little secret is 4 minutes can turn into 10 or 20 or 30.
Yeah.
So when you're in that zone, when you're doing whatever it is that makes your heart sing, that you love, time flies.
Yeah.
So, but first schedule those 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally, like, put
Yeah.
it in your phone, make it pop up.
All right, just gonna
Go,
start.
"No,
just
I'm
get
not
the
available."
momentum.
Yep.
Yeah. I believe it's. Do you know Mel Robbins? Do you,
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So she, I think, I
5,
can't
4,
remember.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, the 5 is the 5
5-minute
second
rule.
rule. Yeah, 5 minute, 5 second rule.
5
But
second rule.
that's like literally the catalyst to go into the 4 minutes. It's like, okay, I don't want to do this alarm. It's like you just gotta. And you said that earlier. Taking action is everything, because today we're inundated with so much information. Every podcast, everything. We all know it. Like, we all have access to the information. But why do we not all have these incredible lives and the Lamborghinis and all things? It's because no one acts on it. It's easier just to, and have gotten caught in that loop of like, I need to read one more book about this thing, or I need to make sure that I understand this better before. It's like, stop all that, and just go and do it. Like, take the action.
Well, there are a lot of different tools to use too. You could set a timer on your phone.
Yeah.
And go, okay, I'm going to research for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to work out for 30 minutes. I'm going to go grocery shopping for 30 minutes only. I'm going to talk on the phone or do social media, whatever it is. Make
Yeah.
a time limit. When I was racing motocross or swimming,
Allegedly.
I'm
gonna need to see these. Yeah, I'm gonna see you on a
I'll show you a
motocross
picture.
going off a jump.
Yes, I did. And even in swimming, you walk up to the starting block, and you're on the starting block. There is a point of no return. When you're up on the starting block, we're at a swim meet,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And the ref is ready to shoot the starter gun, and they say, "Swimmers, take your mark." That is the point of no return.
Yeah.
Nobody goes, wait,
Yeah.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna do this.
You're committed.
I don't
at
think
this point.
you're
Yeah.
committed. So when you get in that, you assume the position, you get to the point of no return, the gun goes off, you go. Similar to Mel Robbins, but I wanna give you a little bit of the chance to set that point of no return.
Yeah.
And make it okay for yourself I'm diving deep for those 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do research, but when that buzzer goes off, I'm done. Or,
Yeah.
if you want to go on, great. But there's got to be a point of no return. There's got to be a little bit of a consequence if you don't do that thing.
Yeah. I put together this whole training for kids called Be the 1%. And it's basically putting systems in place to block out all those things that distract you. So like you're saying, you can focus singularly on one thing for 30 minutes, an hour. And for me, the do not disturb feature on my phone is the best thing in the world. It changed my life because it's, all right, for now because you get, whether it's just text messages or watching the news or you nonstop, and it distracts you from, okay, what is that thing that I want to work on? Whether it's exercising or meditating or working on a skill, it's like, nope, this is a way, and I'm able to go all in. And I just think too many people are distracted all the time with and most of it's pointless, frivolous, that what are the Kardashians eating today or whatever, distractions. So
Yep.
I love that. I'm going to use that tools. You say tools.
You have to allow yourself permission to fail. It's okay. And I feel like God is opening up another window for you. If one door closes, it's an opportunity to look at, okay, maybe I need to tweak it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to do
Yeah,
something
yeah.
different. And also, it's really important to just, try to take a chance, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And I would imagine for young kids, I don't know, I had an older brother. I wanted to do everything that he did.
That's why I played basketball,
So, yeah.
my brother.
And that was kind of a guiding light for me. And also I wanted to be active. My parents always had me in sports. I was always doing something after school, and I think that's super important for kids these days. Because, if you're not a brainiac on the chess club or whatever it is, or playing basketball,
Yeah.
you're not the star. Where do you shine?
Yeah.
And it's okay, I think, to be able for young people to give themselves boundaries. Like, no, I don't really feel comfortable painting flowers or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I really want to do that.
Yeah.
And to pivot and to find your voice.
Yeah, your identity, your passion,
Yep.
and ultimately your confidence, because you can't get, that's one thing I see is
He's got confidence.
Yeah, this is a whole other level of confidence. you can't build self-esteem without accomplishing things. Like people just, oh, just be kind and just say all these nice things. Yeah, but it has to be based on something. So one thing when I'm doing stuff with parents, it's like you got to let them fail strategically. Like you're saying, don't be afraid to fail. Encourage them with these things, because that's when you get that feedback of like, okay, I didn't like the way it felt when I lost, and they gave me this 8th place trophy, but like I know the truth. Like I didn't do good, and now I want to work hard, and I don't want to have that feeling again.
Yes.
And it prepares them for the real world, because what is happening is a lot of these kids are now getting out in the real world, and they don't just get given a job in life. They have to make money and pay the bills, and they're like, wait, what is this? Yeah, what is this? And they aren't prepared, and they freak out and are having a hard time. So no, I love that. I wanted to ask you one more thing, because I know you got things, you're writing books left and right. If you were going to go back and you were going to talk to Miss Most Active Detroit of all time, most active of all time. Maybe there's some, Zumbaing and dancing at a bar. I don't know. And you're going to give yourself one piece of advice from everything that you've experienced in going through the ups and downs of family and relationships and attacks by people and death threats. And I mean, who would have thought this would be your life? You'd be at the White House and people would be attacking you. Like, what? Not a lot of people can say that's something they're getting attacked about. But through all those experience, mold, all of it, what would you say to?
The only thing that I would say is it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan this life. This is not what I thought about, dreamt of when I was a little girl. Everything, all the obstacles, I can't say, I got sick and almost died. Would I want to redo that? Kind of, yeah. But
tough.
It caused me to fight, to be a fighter. It caused me to help want to educate people. When I see people that are, whether it's, doing squats or sit-ups wrong, and I'm like, let me tell you how to do that. Let me help you there.
Yeah, the helper and the,
yes. From that to, I want to educate people about what happened to me. All of the obstacles that I've been through in life made me who I am today. And I like being me as long as I'm healthy and I'm happy. And I'm so appreciative and grateful. So I don't know that I would change anything, Jesse.
Yeah.
The only advice I would give to my younger self is that, I could say there's a couple things I would like to change. To be stronger and to be bolder and to be braver and not to roll out the red carpet so much for other people when it takes away from you being you. Listen to your inner spirit, listen to your inner voice, be bold and be brave.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you so much. You have a heart of gold, and you have been so good to me over the years and my family, and this is long overdue. I'm so glad that we got to actually do this, and now that I know where it's at, I might just be showing up all the time, so you better watch out.
Hey, just grab a dog and start petting, and you're welcome anytime.
And you're in, and I'm in.